Capcom had its countdown. Why not Atlus, right? Soul Hackers 2 is here, and what a surprise. Honestly, genuinely, truthfully, what a surprise. As a follow-up to SMT5, I imagine most wouldn't even have thought of the Devil Summoner series at all, okay? Just speaking from a purely cynical business decision, I would have figured they would have been working on a port, a remake, a spin-off of an older SMT game or a Persona game or something. Easy cash grab, right? But here we are. Let's give a little background. The original Devil Summoner was a spin-off of the SMT series, and then it had a direct sequel, Soul Hackers. And both those games were turn-based. They had a 3x2 grid, meaning typically you would place your physical-based characters on the front line and your magic-based on the back line, typically. There was also the Raito spin-off games from Devil Summoner, which take place in a completely different timeline, and the combat was completely different. It was action-based, similar but not exactly like the Tales of series, something approximating that. Regardless, Atlus chose this to be the sequel to Soul Hackers specifically. It's not branded with Devil Summoner anywhere. And as far as the trailer goes, I enjoyed seeing the demon designs again. I enjoyed listening to the music. I love the color palette they chose to represent this game. We also need a Jack variant every game now, and why not, right? And you'll still be summoning demons to help you out in combat, except we're going to be taking control of 4 characters who will be working against the Phantom Society to prevent this apocalypse from happening. And I believe the game was evoking at times the themes of Ghost in the Shell, especially in the last 10 seconds or so. Pay attention there as the protagonist talks about being an artificial being while this music that's reminiscent of the film plays, and it's possibly just a homage, I'm not quite sure.
情報の海から生まれた新しい知性体、そして世界の終わりを止めるもの。
But regardless of that, the game definitely reminded me a lot of Tokyo Mirage Sessions, except maybe an edgier version perhaps. And I'll include SMT5 into that comparison as well. And what I mean to compare them all 3 of those games is how the way the character models move, the position of the camera, the particle effects, and the combat. It felt all like similar like within those. So I suppose if you enjoy those ones, maybe you'll enjoy this as well. For those with even a tertiary knowledge of Devil Summoner, you won't find much in common, whether it be with the gameplay, as it's a 4-person party system this time around, and hopefully they'll bring back the demon behavior system, you know, just to give it some connecting tissue to the first one. And the tone of the first Soul Hackers felt a lot more upbeat and quirky, though it is worth mentioning I went back and looked up the trailer for the 3DS port of the first Soul Hackers, and it also used a lot of apocalyptic terms such as like fate of the world. And I'm hoping this trailer just wanted to be tonally consistent with itself, just for that trailer. And that as the game releases, we'll see a lot more lighthearted moments in the actual game. Perhaps some plot elements that might be alike with the first game. I don't want to spoil anything, but it has to do with death and just some things that I thought were very similar. But I don't want to spoil anything, so I'll just leave it at that. So to sum up, despite this being a sequel, I believe it's trying to entice a wider audience. It doesn't seem like you'll have to have played any of the other games in the series or have any prior knowledge of them. Soul Hackers also doesn't seem to be this huge brand where you can just slap anything on it and it'll sell really well. I mean, it's been, 8 or 9 years since the last game. So I'm just really hoping they had a novel idea and they thought to revisit this series because it made the most sense for it. Alternatively, I just really hope the game does well enough to consider a PC port of the first Soul Hackers. Please. Maybe a bit too hopeful. Its release date is August 25th, 2022 for Japan. And for the rest of us, we'll just need to play, Digimon Cyber Sleuth. Yeah, let's play those games in the meantime, I suppose. You know, they were pretty decent. I like them.